football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
With over 25 years of serving our communities, Destiny Financial Services, a division of Global Life, is here to help you and your family through difficult times. From cancer care to accidental industries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life, but you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call DFS at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com. That is 877-300-8269, or again, the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year, a title reserved for elite HBCU marching bands. A season-long competition that culminates in Atlanta on Friday, December 12th. Drum majors, percussion, drill, auxiliaries, musicality. All aspects will be examined by the toughest judges in the world of college bands. 4 will qualify for the big stage, where national champions will be crowned. Follow us on social media for rankings updates throughout the season. And join us in Atlanta on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
football fans. The Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
I love Atlanta, a city in the forest. Hi, I'm Jeff Cleveland, seasoned loan officer in the Atlanta market. And whether you're buying a new home, refinancing to do debt consolidation, home improvements, or just to lower your payment, give me a call. I'll ensure that you're treated with dignity and respect, that you're informed throughout the process, and that there are no surprises at closing. Give me a call and let's get started.
What's happening? Today is the 17th of December, 2025. I think, they say that I think therefore I am. I think this might be the last show for the year because next week will be Christmas Eve, and I don't think we're gonna do nothing, but I'm gonna let the fellas decide. And then the week after that is New Year's Eve. So we're gonna see what we're gonna do. But here's my quick monologue because I see we got some surprise people because Jomo showed up, so we definitely got to get this going because I know he ain't been here in a minute, so he got a lot to say. But first of all, I just want to say how y'all doing. Happy holidays. Before the crew get here, I'm gonna reiterate some of the things I've said about people who suffer from depression and people who are generally depressed this time of year because there's actually a title for it with the holiday depression because people who have lost somebody special to them, they get depressed a little bit easier around the holidays because they're missing their mother, their father, brother, sister. They're missing a loved one. And the holidays only exacerbates their sadness. So just be mindful when you're telling people Merry Christmas or whatever it is. And, stick to generic, say Happy Holidays because different people celebrate different things. Everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas. Your intent may be well, but in this new sensitive era of everybody keeping it 100, everybody's easy to insult now because nobody keeps it 100 because we got to keep doing things to make everybody feel better. So just say Happy Holidays and let that be that. But again, check on your friends, check on your people. Quit responding to Facebook posts. If somebody makes a sad post, give them a call. Let them know you care. Let them know you saw it and you just want to make sure they're good. Shoot them a text. I can't tell you how much that means when people are going through something. The fact that somebody took 20 seconds out of their day to solely think of them. I'm gonna get the fellas' thoughts on this. These group chats, I hate them, I despise them, I detest them. The only thing that's worse than group chats is Donald Trump. Because everybody keep wanting to say hello, and you got to keep silencing your damn phone because y'all put 40 people in these group chats, and everybody got to say hello individually. And they're even worse with business chats where people start making it personal. Happy holidays. Listen, skip all that shit. If it's a group chat, if it's business, if it ain't about business, one person say something and that's it. You don't have to acknowledge that you've seen it. Nobody cares. All these damn alerts and shit. So just know if you add me to a group chat, before I remove myself, I'm blocking you because I hate fucking group chats. I hate them. And I got one, but I only put stuff in. I don't respond to nothing else. Because that's the way it should be. But I got a couple of questions for the guys because I'm a little hypersensitive because my depression is on the rise because it is the holiday season. Plus, I already got it. And I need some. Now that Jomo has shown up, he's the sensei. He's like Obi-Wan Kenobi or what's the little guy that know everything. He know who I'm talking about. He got all the characters. Mo doing his hands like that, so I know that means he ready. With Joe here, I know when we get to some touchy subjects, Joe ain't gonna run away. He gonna stand there 10 toes down. He gonna be with it. He ain't gonna do what Mark did, and Mark ran. Mark ran. He started a conversation, and then when I gave him the floor, he took off. He's like, "Oh, we ain't gonna do this." Come on now. So first, I'm gonna bring Joe because Joe ain't been here in a minute. So, what's good, my brother? What's good?
What's up, brother? And his name is
Everything good?
Yeah, all good.
You know, we was worried about you. You know what I'm saying? We was saying, ain't nobody seen you since Mark had been in Chicago. So we was, we was planning out up there. Me and Mo was gonna meet and just come and see because we need to make sure everything was cool. So we didn't know if he had did something to you or your wife thought that Mark was one of your real friends and she wouldn't let you come on the show no more because she thought we was all like Mark. So we was concerned.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know if you saw the picture of Mark last week with a slingshot, but I have never seen a slingshot with a high chair in a driver's seat. So it's on and popping.
I see now he ain't showing up. So let me go on and bring Mo. Mo sucked last week at his job at being the mediator. Mo started some shit.
Nah, it wasn't me, man. It wasn't me.
And you know how he put that. He's like,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No,
Joe, this is cute. This is what Mo's excuse was every time he starts shit. He's like, y'all know I forget stuff. So when he starts the shit, he act like he forgot it. But we saw him writing it down, so it's on the paper. It's on the paper. And what's on the paper too is probably his excuse that, let me say, oh yeah, y'all know I forget if I don't write stuff down. But dude, we just thought you write it down.
I ain't write nothing. It's disappearing ink, man. Y'all ain't catching me with nothing.
Man. You got an auto pen? you got an auto pen? That what you got?
Sir, man. Yeah, man. It's disappearing ink, baby.
So y'all ready for y'all ready for the holidays?
Yeah.
Y'all was a little hesitant there, like maybe not.
I was waiting for Joe to answer. Yeah, man. It's for me. I mean, I'm different. I might be different. I don't know, but you guys are probably the same. But it's just another day for me, man. It ain't. It's just I'm retired, so I don't got to work, so it ain't a day off. I live too far for family to come bombard me, so I don't got to deal. It's not a family day. It's just another day, man. That's all, and I'm just gonna relax and enjoy it. That's all.
But it's interesting. One thing, and you start up the show, and I have to give you kudos. Don't repeat that. Do you know what the two groups that have the highest suicide rate are in the United States right now?
See, I always drop some knowledge. What is it?
Police and military.
I could definitely see military.
Number one and number two. And having lost a friend to suicide, I understand it. And I also have to give you, again, don't repeat this, your kudos when you start talking about depression and the fact that you don't know what people are going through. It's interesting because I've had to counsel people about telling people how to grieve. That's another issue. Grieving is individual to persons, to people, to religions. And how people grieve and how long they grieve is not up for debate. And it shouldn't be, because I've seen people, I was listening to, actually a pastor was talking about, he's got some members that go to the grave site on the birthday and this, that, and that. That's them. That's something you just can't. There is no real way to codify what you should or should not, or how you should grieve or not grieve. And that's individual to that person. So I've had that discussion because, again, I've got a friend of mine who lost her son to gang violence. He's been dead at least 20 years. He goes to the grave site almost every week. But for me to step in and say, let that child rest, it's absolutely not my place. But
True.
Again, I
Yeah.
give you kudos for bringing up those hard, hard subjects up, because this is the time we need to talk about them.
Yeah, and let me add to that, because one thing I learned a long time ago is this is the same thing Joe said, but I'm just saying it in a different way. You can't legislate trauma. You know what I mean? You have to manage it based on what you need. It don't matter. I might need to go fishing. DVP might need to go beat somebody up. I don't know. Joe might need to go cook in the kitchen. Who knows? You know what I mean? So we all, you don't want to try to legislate that. Just do what you need to do. Because I know DVP don't know, Joe don't know what I need to decompress. It could be a quiet time in the corner. It could be, go in the boxing ring and blow off some steam. They might not know that about me, but whatever that is, it's what I got to do. You know what I mean? And we all know how our body works best, because whatever we do, it works. I'll leave it there.
And we ain't gonna dwell on this because I don't want y'all to be on this holidays, but I shared my stories, and one of the things that I've always hated when people try to suggest to me things I should do. It's like, y'all don't think I thought of this shit? I've been suffering from this shit for over probably over 40 years. Y'all don't think I thought of this? No, going to the gym does nothing for me. Lifting weights does nothing for me. I'm like Karate Kid, Mr. Mugiat. The weights ain't bothering me, so I don't feel the need to keep bothering them. I mean, we at peace with one another. I'm not trying to start a war with these weights. And it's like, oh, you should try this. Listen, as Mo said, because I'm going to blame Mo, as Mo said, I should try violence. I think I would feel better if I just start choking the shit out of you. That would make me feel better, because then I wouldn't have this insane conversation.
Right.
And it's like, it's calming to me now to watch the life ooze out of your ass. It's like, I can study this. It's like, how does this shit really, really work? And one of the things, when I was 7, and I just remember this really clearly. As a kid, and we're talking about, I'm 7 now. I was never big into Christmas, just for different reasons. Well, when I was 7, I got my first, I knew what I wanted for Christmas. I wanted the Kung Fu Group G.I. Joe. I knew what I wanted. The black one. My mom got me 2. And my mom also, her appendix ruptured. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but when your appendix ruptures, it's assault in your body. It will kill you. So it was like,
yes.
and if you know my mom was like chipper. She's a go-getter. She's always happy and shit. And I was in there playing my G.I. Joes, creating all my little scenes and shit. And my mom was nowhere around. So, I finally went in there. I was like, Mom, what's up? And she was just like, feeling down. I'm 7. I knew something was wrong. So I ended up calling her mom. Said, hey, something's wrong with my mom. She's just not this. She's not this. So I don't know who came and got us. But anyway, somebody came and got us. We ended up going to the hospital. It's like, the doctor was like, he's a good kid, 15 more minutes and it wouldn't have been nothing nobody could have did. So like from that moment on, I never liked Christmas. And I hate it when people try to tell me, oh, Christmas is this, Christmas is that. And it's like, I forgot who said it. The Governor George said it one time, you never judge a man until you walk a mile in his shoes. No matter what you think you've been through, no matter what you came through, you can't judge people based on what you would do, because you don't have the experience they have, you don't have the knowledge they have. And, it's like, I hate when people try to say, oh, you should do this. Oh, well, you should be thankful she survived. Again, I would be more thankful if I could just put my hands around your throat and choke the living shit out of you and know I could get away with it. That would really make me feel better. But how you going to tell me how I should feel about Christmas when every year comes around? What's my first thought? This is the day that my mom almost died. Well, what do you really think can surpass a promotion? A vacation? What do you think? Once something is in your head, it don't just go away because you're somewhere else. And it's like when people say certain things, it just like really, really agitates me. Because for years, for those of y'all who've been watching, so for years, y'all know I never did a show in December. Now I got these fine gentlemen, I'm using that term loosely, they help me. They're therapeutic in a sense. They can't stop my sadness. They can't stop my depression, but they give me an outlet because I know that, I want to say they're good people, but as Joe said, this is recorded, so I'm not going to say that. They're people. They don't uphold their responsibilities, but we have a place. I see Marcus there. I can't look like he in the car, so he might be stealing cars again. So I'm not gonna say nothing. And but
Yeah,
Joe already said that
to
your
steal them
spouse
high
I had
school.
a hot chair. So
Got me a new hot box.
what's up, Mark?
What up?
Yeah.
Look at what the cat done drug in.
I know he talking about. I know he talking about you, Jomo.
Man,
Hey, look, man. Look, the dude's looking in the mirror, so I ain't mad at him. That's what happens. You know what? I take that back. He cannot be. Look, I know he cannot be looking at the mirror because he's too short. Because the mirror sit up here and that dude's way down here. I don't know if y'all saw his picture of him with a slingshot. It had a high chair in the driver's seat. What's up with that?
what up, Joe? You out on bond?
Hey, man. Hey, did you take them high top gym shoes back to the store yet?
What up, Joe? Glad to have you back, man. I ain't seen you in so long, man.
Man, if you quit sneaking into Chicago, you let a brother know we'd hook up. But I know, look, the fugitive, you got to keep your profile low. I get it.
Yeah,
What up,
man.
Mo? How you doing today, Mo?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. I can't battle with you like that. Go ahead, stick with him, man.
No, I'm just speaking, man. I'm speaking. I was saving DVP for last. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man. And I just want to tell y'all, for those of y'all who watching, it's amazing. Like I said, I think Mo is the only one who ain't met nobody. Joe and Mark met. Me and Mark met. So Mark knows half of us. And we've never been in the same place at the same time. So what you see is just a bunch of retarded guys showing a bunch of retarded love. But hey, when y'all say that you can't put 4 black men in the room together and they get along, we get along. We can talk shit. And we're gonna still look out for each other. Because it's almost like the military. Y'all can't talk shit to us, but we can talk shit to each other. But if anybody come on the show trying to talk shit, you will quickly be eviscerated. You know what I'm saying? So, just enjoy the comedy show as y'all get it. Just enjoy it. So, now that I got y'all here and we got a different group, I want to ask y'all a question because this is something that came, and I know we got different perspectives, I think. Anyway, when your honor is being attacked, your honor, do you take the high road and not say anything because you don't respond to, lions don't think what sheep think, or do you defend yourself? Or when is the line drawn when you actually come out and you start swinging too? So we're gonna start with, I'm gonna let the sensei go last because I know he's gonna wrap everything up and tell us the right thing. So
No, I'm not.
Well, maybe he ain't. Maybe he gonna have us jumping off the bridge too. But let's start with Mark. Mark, when somebody is attacking you personally, and we're just talking verbally, they're attacking your honor, your name. They're saying Mark do this, Mark do that. What does Mark do? Does Mark retaliate and respond back, or Mark just ignore them?
I'm gonna ignore them, depending on who it is. If I value them as a friend, family member, or whatnot, then I will speak to them. But if I have no value for them, I'm gonna ignore it.
Okay, so if you value
I
them,
ignore ignorance. So I ain't gonna give them the time of day to even pay them any attention if they hold no value in my life.
it's somebody you value.
Somebody I value,
Yeah. And they besmirching your name publicly.
I'm gonna pull them to the side, try to have a conversation about it.
And if that don't work,
I'm gonna ignore them too.
okay. So you're not gonna retaliate. You're not gonna retaliate at all.
No, nah, I'm gonna just let it be.
Mo,
Yeah, man, you caught us too late in life. You know this would have been you know this would have been a different conversation if you'd have hit us up 15, 20 years ago. You know this, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You hit us at this stage of life. Listen, man, all about the peace, baby. So look, first of all, we all know you only can get insulted if you allow yourself to get insulted. You say what you want. I decide if it bothers me or not. Okay, that's one premise I live by. Number two, location. Where we at? I mean, if we are we in a dark alley and you snapping off? Hey,
Oh, no, you're in a crowd of people, and we'll make it easy. We'll just say it's on social media.
on social media. Okay, I don't even know you like that. All right, was it a relative or just?
Oh yeah, there's somebody you know.
Or somebody I know on social media. Okay, I got to give
No,
you a call.
It's somebody you know in real life. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, then in that case, I'm probably gonna yeah, I gotta address it, man, because that's probably gonna bother me. And also, I've been in too many situations where I assume one thing and the person didn't even mean that. You know, this is a good example of that. This one taught me a whole life lesson. I'm emailing back and forth with somebody, and I said, resend, you know, what you sent before. And they sent back, I resent what you said. And I'm like, what? I'm like, hey, what did I say? I'm sitting here contemplating, right? Man, it was a damn typo. They meant resend, right? So that life lesson right there lets me know, listen, I'm at a point in my life right now. If I can keep the peace, that's what I'm going to do. And so I called him, got in touch with him, and said, why you send that? He said, oh, I meant resend. I didn't mean resent. And I said, oh, okay, because that was kind of wild, man. And so, you know, just getting out of a situation like that makes life a lot easier. Because I could have popped off and been like, yeah, your mama resent it too, you know, or whatever. You know, I could have did that, right? Y'all know what that's about, right? But you know, I don't go there no more. So I'm done. That's too much anyway. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe, because your answer just look like it's gonna be different.
It is. It's kind of like I give you the best example. Have you ever seen on a death certificate that the person died from the hatred of another? Let me make that real easy. You won't.
And I was a deputy coroner. I ain't never seen that one. It's not even an option.
There it goes right there. Why waste the stress?
Well, but here's the other thing. And as you say, Mo, 30 years ago, man, it would have been on and popping. Easy. But as I get older and hope to get older, I can't afford for my piece to be misaligned. And what I mean by that is my peace of mind has to be aligned with my aura in this universe. And I cannot let you misalign it, because that means I've got to give value to what you think.
Thanks.
Now, it's interesting, DV, because I've actually had that happen. I've had some people I thought were 50-year men turn out to be 5-second mother suckers. But there's nothing that you can say. And what I found, particularly in being in the world of politics, is that no response is probably the best response, because then you wind up trying to justify, which in some people's minds saying, oh, he or she really did it. It's not a quandary. You have to leave that stuff alone. There's no way to win Who Shot John. There's no way to win the back door. And it's interesting, you know, because here's what's interesting about what you just asked. There's a book called Gossip Men. And what it deals with is how the Russians started this. Oh, first of all, most people don't know this, but the Russians were the first to employ spies. They came up with the whole idea of spy training, whatever else. It wasn't what you think. But what they came up with this thing was called disinformation. And one of the gossip men that was good at starting gossip was a guy named Hoover. Not Larry Hoover, but the Hoover of the FBI.
Not J. Edgar.
J. Edgar was the man. But see, J. Edgar was also hooked into another guy named Roy Cohn. Does that name sound familiar at all? Roy Colton Jr. just got kicked off the bar with Trump. He's the son of that Cone. So these guys have been in the business of disinformation for eons. So to bring it back in, here's what I'm telling you. You are not going to win the battle of, again, who shot John. There's nothing you can say. Once that gossip gets out there, it is what it is. Now, if you try to fight it, again, you will give way to people that will say, oh, maybe there's some truth to that. When it's better just to let it go. I know that was long-winded.
All right, well, y'all know I got a shirt that says, pray for me, I'm petty. And you know, I wanted I've been holding on to this because I needed for Joe to be here.
Hey man, listen, does that come in a large, extra large? Because I need one of them. I need it in the size fat ass because I'm a fat ass. So just so you know.
But you know what's funny? A client sent it to me.
And I think they're trying to tell you something, but I like it.
And it's like, you know, I get the whole thing that you shouldn't respond to people who are lower than you because then you go to that level. And sometimes you give what they say credence. And more importantly, sometimes you give them value because a lot of times people who are talking trash to you or trying to bring you down, like I noticed this on Facebook, people will come to my page and say shit. And, you know, they're trying to tell me what I should or shouldn't do. And when I go to their page, there's no activity. But on my page, you know, I got lots of people commenting. I mean, this was back when I was on a regular basis. You know, I'm making a post. I got 200-300 comments. You make a post, you liked it, you made a comment, and that's it. You know, so you will come to my page and start some shit because ain't nobody talking on your page. And you know, you may try to start shit on my page, and I just ignore it, and you'll post 2 or 3 times. And you know, I don't delete shit. I just because I want you to see that you're being ignored. But every now and then I earn my king. I earn my crown. Because every now and then I just feel the need to go ahead and let's just what's Mortal Kombat finishing. Just let me go ahead and finish it. So it's been a personal struggle for me when and when not to respond because the hood in me wants to respond. The hood in me, and I tell people, you know, they say, you a bullet. I say, yeah, but I only fight bullies. Everybody else just kind of don't matter. So if you don't have bully tendencies, you might actually get a W because you're not there. And when I'm doing certain things, it's like, well, if you don't rise up, I'm just not going to pay you no attention. But every now and then I find myself in the depths of hell and everybody's above me. So fuck them all. Come on, let's go. You know, and I'm sure y'all have heard this phrase. You ever heard people say, oh, you mess around me, I can be your worst enemy. And I'm like, you must not know where I come from. My worst enemies do really vile shit. You don't qualify. All you can do is say a bad word or two. I know a guy, not other guy. I know a guy who set a girl on fire at 12:30 p.m. while she was sitting on the porch in the project. See, him, I don't want to make mad. I don't want to make him mad. He set her on fire and walked off and dared anybody to say anything. He's the worst enemy. We're going to always be friends. Always. He's the only somebody that when he was locked up, when he say, man, can I get an extra tray? Bro, no problem. You want an extra tray, you want his tray. Because you set a chick on fire, player. We not never. He's like, you ain't got to be scared of me. We cool. I appreciate that. It don't negate the fact that I'm scared of you. Because setting somebody on fire in public at noon. So when people say, oh, I can be your worst enemy, I bet you can't. I bet you can't. You don't even get to be top 1,000 because all you can do is say some pretty words. No, I hurt you with these words. Well, see, I'm like Mark and Mo and Joe. Well, we from the hood. There's very little that you can say that's gonna hurt my feelings. There's very little you can say. What you gonna say? I got a big head. You gonna call me ugly? What you gonna do? All this shit. You know, we come from an era where we weren't sensitive and we got joned all the time. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But more importantly, sometimes that shit was straight out funny. You couldn't even defend yourself because you was laughing. I done heard some of the best Your Mama jokes. They were hilarious. Oh man, they don't talk about my mom. Well, hey. So, you know, it's one of them things that I was struggling with. It's like somebody was doing this, like the fighter in me wants to fight. I want to fight. Let's get this party started. But the adult in me who doesn't get a lot of time was like, yo, they call me by my government name. It's like, let it go. It's like, that's some bullshit, call me by government name. And it's like, so I'm just gonna put it out to the fellas, and whatever they say, I'm just gonna kind of roll with it. Even if I hate all y'all for y'all answers, I truly hate y'all right now for y'all answer, because I need for somebody, Joe, to step up and say, swing, better swing. But it's like, at some point, you know, it's like, well, when should you defend yourself? You know,
when they put their hands on you.
Well, see, now, here's the thing, and I'll tell anybody this. I've been in 2 shoots. I've lost some fights. You know, and if you find a policeman that said he's never lost a fight, don't fuck with him. I mean, don't mess with him, because he ain't telling you the truth. Sorry, forgive me. But I will also tell you this. I had to tell the guy, I said, listen, man, I've been threatened by professionals. You don't scare me. And he didn't.
And they meant it.
Hey, right. I mean, hey, man, so you going to do what? Okay. Stay right there. I'm going to bring somebody. Let me bring my spokesman over here that can speak on your level, okay? And we can talk about it. But like I say, I've been threatened by professionals. I've been shot at, spit on, talked about. You know, so it's not. What else is left? You can't call me fat because I am. You can't call me.
I already acknowledged it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I'm Mark's brother. I mean, what the hell? So poor, broke. I mean, those can hurt me. Those hurt me when you call me poor. Nah, you really don't. You know, you like yank my chain. You fat, poor mother sucker. Now we got to fight. But to your point, you know, unless they pulling pistols, and even then, you better be careful, because if you don't get the first shot off, the rest is mine. Because I know how to write people. Now that's the other thing.
Yeah. Fact. Let me add this. Oh, go ahead.
Let me tell y'all a crazy story right quick, because Joe brought this up. Yeah, y'all know I did undercover work, right? I actually talked to a guy on the phone for like 20 minutes who took a contract out on me because he thought I was a contract. He thought I was a killer. So he's telling me, because nobody knows who I am, and I'm listening to him tell me about it. He's like, well, I can't tell you much about him. We just know he's a black guy. Don't nobody know who he is. But he just doing this, and you know, he's a son of Satan. And I'm laughing because the dude is talking about me. And I'm like, damn, you know, all I did was lock up some people. Well, he just did, and he just happened to be he was mad because he was a preacher. And he was selling drugs in a house across from the church. So as people would park it, come to the house to buy drugs, you know, we use the church parking lot as a staging area, and we towed all the cars. And he just thought I was safe for doing that. He'd be towing cars on church property. And I was like, oh, you're a drug dealer. Well, this is what I said, you know, when he went talking to a contract killer. But he got my number from one of his crackheads. And he called me and he was like, I don't know his name. You know who we work for, but we ain't got no pizza. It's like, you really want me to kill myself. And I was like, this is so cute just to talk to somebody about killing you. And you brought it up. I always remember this story. He just told me how it was. And he always had to believe. I think somebody got on. We getting feedback from somebody. I don't think it's me, because
Mark.
Mark what?
It's Mark. What? Look, if something go wrong, it's Mark. I don't give it. What it is. Mark it.
Go ahead on.
Hey man, I want to add this. So, man, I keep hearing. We
Oh, you got them two.
Yeah, I think it's you, Mo.
Somebody got 2 sessions.
Ah, there you go.
How about now? Everybody good?
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not no more.
No, I still hear. What y'all say? How about now?
It's good now.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, what it is, whatever. I just wanted to add. Oh, no, it's still there. Who's that? Is that you, Mark? Oh, Mark's on mute, so it ain't Mark. So we got to go around the horn, man. DVP mute, man. 1 2 1 2. You hear it, Joe? You hear
It was
Echo,
Mark.
Joe?
I told you it was Mark. I
was
told you it
Mark?
was Mark. Y'all didn't listen. Yeah. I told y'all. You don't want to
DVP,
listen.
we found him, DVP. We found the victim. We found him, man.
It wasn't hard to find.
You got all that bright light and everything. What the hell going on over there, Mark? What you doing, man?
He opened the car door running.
Hey, so
that hot car you stole.
the stuff I wanted to add to that discussion is I wrote it down so I can remember.
See, he writes shit down.
I had to, man, because I'm gonna forget. One thing is I got high expectations for myself. And so one thing I know I do this for myself. I get upset, I get angry at myself for reacting a certain way. And I must not be the only one to do it. I see Joe Mo shaking his head. And I'm disappointed at myself because I allow somebody else to take me out of my a space that I didn't want to be in. It took me out, you know, and that really pisses me off. I'm like, how do I let these people take me out of my, you know, my place of peace, you know? And then the other part is I don't like getting angry because it takes me way too long to decompress. Way too long. I mean, we talking days, man. I could be mad for days. It's not good for me, man. I know that. So if I can, I'm avoiding anger and problems at all costs. I just want to throw that out there because that's something I got to deal with on a personal level.
It's called self-actualization. It means, you know, without the big words, it means that you understand you. And believe it or not, if you look at most religions, all of it is about self-reflection. How do you come to peace with yourself? And that's really about it. So the fact that you understand you, man, the battle is winning. You're winning.
Right. Right.
You know, people, and I agree with you. I used to get, and I still do it, when I find myself going to that dark spot. And believe me, DVP, I'm with you. There are some very dark places, and I hope I never go there again. And if that beast ever gets unleashed, you'll see me on the news because they'll say there's some fat black guy doing some craziness. And he's up in some tower. And y'all can't get him, you know, so that ain't going to end well. But have I been on that edge? Yes. Thank God that I have a family and friends that are able to bring me back from that edge, that actually taught me self-restraint, that actually showed me that what others do I should not let what others do affect me to the point where I would A, lose my freedom, B, do something stupid, C, play into their hands. And if you put that into the whole mix, there it is.
So y'all acting like I'm the only one who got bonds people on speed dial. Is that what y'all trying to tell me?
Oh no. I keep bond money with me. No. I
got bonds men on speed dial.
hey, Jomo got a bond. Jomo got a bond budget.
Yeah, I do. Look, I have a surety bond, as they say. I live in a state where there's no cash bonds.
Wow.
So you've got to do one of two things. Either you've got to be able to talk your way out of it, at least till you get a court date, or be able to put up something to say, well, maybe I can flee to Argentina. But now understand something. Black folks, you ain't going nowhere. The only place you can run to is LA, Lower Alabama, because ain't no other country taking your black butts.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, see, just as a side note, everybody here got some place to go if something happens. Everybody but you all, us. White folks can go to Ireland, Russia, even China if need be, South America. Where you running to? Where you running to?
I got to hook up in Saudi Arabia.
You ain't got hook up for nothing. You are still dead.
Hey, I lived over there for 6 months.
Yeah.
I made sure I garnered some friends and some people in high places.
Yeah, okay.
You know, enough area to get me out the country.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, your name is Ahmed. Yes, like mine is. Right. Yeah, okay. All right. They'll know as soon as you open your mouth, it's over with. He's not one of us. No. He go over there and talk that old game.
Can I have some hot tea, sir?
Right. Yeah. I'm from Georgia. Of Saudi Arabia? No, ain't no Georgia in Saudi Arabia. Punk.
Russia? Georgia, Russia?
Right. Oh, he's a black Russian.
I spent time over there. I garnered some friendships. I learned enough to get me back and forth. I got the little wardrobe. So just in case. Just keep your mouth shut.
You're right. Oh, I got you. Look, all three. Well, I don't know about Mark, but they pick him right out. But he go over there try to steal some cars and stuff, and they gonna get
Mark can go to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, wherever that is. He you know.
Boy, yeah, I know I can hear y'all, right?
Oh no, we didn't know that.
No, okay. Yeah, I know I can hear y'all.
But it's true. I mean, if you think about it, everybody got a place to run but us. And even if you had a place over there, how you gonna get there?
Yeah, I'm passport ready, and I got my fake ID. I learned that from being a cop. Keep your shit. All the little stuff they gave you that I said I lost.
I'm done.
And Joe, you missed. We had a really good show a couple of weeks ago. We talked about Kwanzaa. I was really hoping you was gonna be there because Mark, against his will, did some research on Kwanzaa, and he bought in because he didn't want to buy in at first, but after he did it, because we was talking about it in this economy, with so many of us going broke and not having money, why don't we celebrate a holiday that was meant for us and doesn't cost us an arm and a leg? So we talked about some of the principles of Kwanzaa, and even we collectively agreed to, you wasn't here, that it's something that we should practice more than these 7 days that it's celebrated. We should be practicing this year round in our communities. What happened?
Mark, you all right? Mark froze up.
I know. He said, "What the?" And he froze.
I know, man. What's going on over there,
Joe?
man?
You got him on speed dial. Hit him up. Make sure he good. But yeah, what do you think about Kwanzaa, Joe, and us trying to embrace it as a community?
And here's the problem. Do some research into Karenga first before you start diving into it. And see, I have a problem with Karenga.
That's the guy who invented, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Dr. Karenga. And just like, let me just start with this. Let me say this. All the disciples of Jesus had a proclivity. Let's just call it that. They had a failure of sorts. But what was Judas's failure? Anybody want to take a shot?
You talking to 3 heathens, 3.5 heathens?
Yeah, we got 2.5 heathens. Yeah. But we are heathens. There are heathens in life. But here's what my thing is. Judas's problem was that he was a hypocrite. And it turned out that of all the failings, Judas was the greatest. The problem I have with Karenga is that it was hypocrisy. Now, do the ideas, Moja, whatever, have semblance? Yes. But the way it was brought forth And the person that brought it, I had problems with it.
Well, and like I said, because I did research into the messenger. Actually, the messenger is definitely questionable. The message is what we were more so talking about. Like I said, because I actually looked into it, and it's like, yeah, you know, he's not the what they say. Even a fool says something smart every now and then. And it's like, you know, I like the concept.
Yeah, 1,000 years, 1,000 monkeys can type the Bible. Yeah, okay. So
and I bet you at DVP, I bet you did a quantitative analysis against what you were brought up, you know, through, which is Christmas holiday, right? So when you do a quantitative analysis against you know, Christmas, and you look at this new thing, listen, it's probably not even a comparison. It can't be half bad.
And to me, what I looked at, like I say, even when I was growing up, my mom had made something so simple because I was a smart kid. And she would always say, you can get this for Christmas, you can get one toy for Christmas, or you can wait for the white sale and get 2 toys because everything goes on sale. So I was cool to just bypass Christmas because you can get twice as much the New Year. Who knows when you got it? Who cares? But you can get twice as much. I hear twice as much. It's like, you know, she got me that G.I. Joe thing because I never asked for anything because I think we were poor. So Christmas just wasn't a big deal, you know. We got electricity, so shit. In my world, we good.
Makes two of us.
You know, she don't like me to talk about it, but part of the reason I was smart was because we didn't have electricity. So I had to get my homework done by sunlight. When the sun went down, I had to stop. So it's like you learn to be a little bit smarter. You learn to read on the bus. You learn to write while you bouncing. These were my daily rituals. So it's like,
So what you're saying is your environment formed you to the person you are, correct?
Absolutely. Ain't that what it did to everybody?
That's it, exactly the point. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make. So the environment dictates, because you weren't the only one poor. Trust me, it was 4 of us.
Oh, trust me, I know. I was with a bunch, and the thing is, as you say, I'm looking at these people who would get stuff for Christmas and they got 3 boxes. Well,
right.
Us poor people, I had 7 boxes because I could wait a week till the prices went down. I wasn't caught up in the commercialization of that day in particular. It's like, you know, when everybody returning stuff because it's the wrong something and they got all these sales, and I was convinced. But as I got older and I saw how people were going broke for one day, it's crazy. And I get, you know, you want to do this and you want to make your kids happy, but I'm thinking, you know, are your kids happy with toys or are they happy being homeless?
Hey man, let me chime in on that, DVP, because you hit something that's I think is very important. And I don't know if it's just us hood kids or maybe this is a global thing, but for me, you know, that the timing was not important. Like you said, I don't care if it's on December 25th because I didn't have nothing in the first place. So guess what? If it come on December 28th, you know, they could have told me anything. They could have said, listen, this year we're not doing Christmas. Matter of fact, this happened a few times. Ain't no Christmas this year because ain't no money or whatever, you know. Fine. It was no big deal. So I didn't have, none of the adults in my house had to get caught up in the commercialization of Christmas to get me something on December 25th. Didn't matter to me. You know what I mean? I ain't have nothing in the first place. So if it came, you know, because it's a predator holiday, right? They know, you know, there's so many demands that are going to make you have to spend money at this time. In fact, the fiscal year and in the business space, they leverage Christmas as well. Y'all know that. You know? Yeah. So it's a whole commercialization idea. And so after Christmas would have been fine for me. You know what I mean? I don't care. It didn't make no difference. It wasn't like ain't no fat white man coming down my chimney anyway. They don't even come to the hood. His slave go right by it. You know? so it didn't matter to me. But my parents or you know, my parents who were in the home, they took it upon themselves to make the holiday important to them. It wasn't necessarily important to me, but they made it important to them because I was a kid that didn't have nothing anyway. So not much was important, you know. So I'll leave it there.
And I think it's more important to a lot of parents to try to prove to other parents because, you know, as we talk about, and we talk about Christmas right now, but I look at how some parents go overboard for their child's first or second birthday. These kids don't remember. Nobody remembers their first birthday. But I've seen parents spend a shitload of money. The baby don't remember. You can video it. You can do whatever you want to. I ain't never heard anybody say, man, my first birthday was my best birthday. My second birthday was. You don't remember, and it's like I'm watching us especially spend crazy amounts of money, and it's got to be just for the parents because the kids can't. You know, when I had my son, my ex-wife was talking about spending. I was like, you know, he's one. He ain't gonna remember none of this shit. He ain't gonna remember. But right, it's for you. It's for you. So why don't you just give yourself $50 and not spend $200 on this damn birthday party? Yeah, that just makes no sense to me. Well, he what? He gonna grow up and say, man, if I'd have had a better first birthday party, I wouldn't have been a serial killer. No, he wouldn't, because he ain't gonna remember this shit. I mean, yeah. Mo, do your kids remember what they ate the first time? Do they remember them? They don't remember diapers. They don't remember none of that shit. So why do we spend so much on it? And it's for us, and we keep saying we're doing it for the kids. We're doing it for the kids. Well, kids only know what we expose them to. So if we don't expose them to this commercialization, do they really get caught up in it?
Right. Yeah, no, it's a pass down. So here's the thing though, it's real messed up, man, because here's the thing. The holiday calendar has this day on the calendar. So that means it's recognized by, you know, the powers to be, by the government, right? And so they kind of force you to acknowledge it because you get the day off, you know, and the sales and everything. So it's almost like a assimilation. You get assimilated into this space where it's something you have to acknowledge. I would really like to ask, and maybe you know DVP, you might know more foreign people than I know, but people foreign to the United States, people who came to the United States, I'd like to ask them if they have adopted Christmas or they stick to their traditional holidays. That would be very interesting for me to know that.
And I think based on what it said, which is why I say don't say Merry Christmas, because everybody doesn't do Christmas, because a lot of people don't do it. They go through the motions. And that's what I say it's funny, you know, in this now we keep everything 100. We do so much to make sure that nobody's offended. Whereas when we were growing up, nobody was offended in the first place. I think either Joe raised his hand or he gave the FU symbol and
pointed to you and said, "You the man." He gave you the man.
You the man. No,
I follow on Facebook. He gave me the FU. That was because I saw it do it. What's up, Joe? What you got?
No, actually, my camera is zooming in, but I would tell you this. It's funny because I remember getting my son a particular gift, and he wound up playing with the box more than he did with the damn toy.
Oh, wow. Jeez. I'm
like, hey, little N-word, what's wrong with you? I had to ask, well, is something wrong with that boy? Oh, that what I spent on that thing, and he likes the box better. I could have gone to Home Depot and got about 10 boxes. Made a little.
Or you could have went to one of the best gifts my son liked. There wasn't a gift. He liked the little bitty round clothes hamper. When he was in that, you couldn't. His world was great. His world was great. He would get in it. He would take it to the top of the steps, get in it, and propel himself down. You couldn't tell him shit.
That's
you couldn't tell him nothing.
That is your son, man. Ain't no question. Don't go to Maury with that kid.
And it's like clothes hamper, but it had to be the small round one. But you couldn't tell him nothing. And I was like, you know, y'all sitting there buying all these gifts and this, and he just looking at this shit like, yeah, he'll play with it for 5 minutes, but he kept going back to that clothes hamper. You could put clothes in it. He'd take them out.
You know it.
Take it to the steps, hop in, and boom, down the steps he would go. My mom watched him one weekend, and she was like, "Something wrong with your son?" I said, "What'd he do?" She said, "He took the box. You know, old people when they break a box down. He put the box at the edge of the steps, and he would just slide because she got like 20 steps. he would just slide down and slam into that wall like when nobody's business and just bust out laughing and do it again.
Yep.
She trying to stop him. He crying because she won't let him do it. I was like, Mama, let him do it. If you get a concussion, you get a concussion. Ain't that how we all got tough doing dumb shit? Hey, put a pillow on the wall. Mama, I don't know what to tell you. Because if that's what he want to do, I ain't going to sue you. But yeah, I still think that a lot of stuff we do, I don't know if it's because of guilt. I don't know if we in competition with other parents. But most holidays and things are for us until they get a certain age. Because they not remembering shit at 1, 2, 3. I don't even. How do you guys remember how you were when you remember your first Christmas?
No.
Yeah.
Or your first birthday?
I was.
Well, I know you don't, Joey. This shit was like,
Yeah. Man, please.
So who is all this stuff for? Who is all this stuff for? It's got to be for them. And it's like, is it? Do we overcompensate because we're poor? We don't want to feel like we're poor, so we overcompensate and get shit that we know we can't afford. That's gonna make us poorer in the coming months. And it's like I watch people now, and I'm like, man, this is just crazy. People are doing this.
Let me tell you something. I think I've shared the story, but as you know, my mother's from a farming community, from a farm in Alabama. My father's from New Orleans. You know what she said she did for Christmas? Work the field.
And I was gonna say pick cotton.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, let me add to that story. Here's the best part of it. So my first year going down to our farm in Alabama, a place called Union Springs, I saw this white stuff and I'm like, what is that? And I knew I was in the land of cotton then, because the first thing she said was, hey, boy, wait a minute. That ain't my name. So, 1964, I got this big afro. So I said the dumbest I'd ever done in my life. And I'll share this with you. I said, Ma, I want to pick cotton. Let me tell you, at my right hand of God, if I want to straighten you out now, I'll send you to Alabama, Mississippi, or Georgia to pick cotton in August when the coldest thing out there is a fart and there's water moccasins in the sand. You had to be careful because rattlers love the cotton field. Then we had watermelons and true story again. I'm looking at these things on the ground. I'm like, what's that? Mom was like, hey, boy, those are watermelons. They don't say Jewel on that. I'm looking at Kroger, Jewel, Piggly Wiggly. What is that? He said, come on, boy. He went over there and snatched one up. I'm like, where's the knife? I was saying, boy, just stick around for a minute. He takes this thing, and it had to be a good pounder, right? Breaks it over his knee, and he's got one in both, a half in each hand. I'm like, man, this guy's strong as shit. I'm like, well, where's the plates? He said, put your hand in there, boy. Flies all around. I'm just having a time. I was sitting there because I never had a water. First of all, I never had a watermelon off the vine. I mean, like the Isley Brothers sing, picking watermelons off the vine. So damn good. I do it all the time. I never experienced it. So I'm looking at cotton. I'm looking at watermelon. I'm looking at pokewood. I'm looking at persimmon tree. We got pecan groves, as you know what they're called. And, my cousins are like, they're all in the field. They're jolly. They're jumping around and hopping barbed wire. I'm like, where are these motherfuckers from? I mean, they're hopping barbed wire like it's nothing. I'm going to the gate and taking the little hook off and going around and closing the gate. Hey, come over here. My dumb self. But I tell that story because, again, the environment. For my mother to tell me her Christmas was working, and that's when and again, some of you will know this and some of you won't. There's a difference between supper and dinner. And I had to, again, learning that only came from my mother's experience and then seeing it in action. Because those are two different things. The slaves had a supper and they had dinner. Actually, dinner was before supper, I believe. But that's another story for another day. But that's my story for today.
Man, what an experience, man.
Oh,
that's crazy. Yeah, that's all. Go ahead, Joe.
I say with my dumb self.
Oh, no, man, that's
you uninitiated.
I'll take it. But I tell you what, I guarantee you, if you want to straighten somebody out, let them pick cotton. Let them see what their ancestors actually had to do. And maybe I'll put some pictures up next time. I'll grab them because we had on our farm at that time. We still had some of the slave houses up, and when my mother told me the story how my grandfather brought the family out of slavery, they kept the houses up, and then they started telling me. And for those who don't know, this thing called eminent domain. My grandfather was able to buy 350 acres in what's called the Black Belt. It's the richest farmland in this country. It runs through Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. It's the most fertile land in the country. Well, they stole half of it. The county came in and wanted to put in a highway because at the time when I first went down, 65 was not even built. In order to get south from Chicago, you had to take 41. 41 would go south, actually runs all the way Florida, all the way up to Canada. And 41, and then it turned to some other stuff, and that's how you got to Georgia also, was 41. But listening to the stories, understanding, and then when I hear these young brothers talk about, oh, I don't vote, my vote don't mean nothing, we ought to take you out right now because you're an absolute waste. I think we should do at least a show on the importance of voting.
Well, you could expand that too, Joe, because what you're saying is it's important because perspective is everything. You know, we have the lived experience of going through that. You know, just the story you just told right there. That right there shaped how you see things and how you do things, and you know, makes you move in a certain way. Well, these kids today didn't have that experience. They don't know what that's all about. So that's going to shape how they move and how they think. So that's why it's important to always go back, do some research, understand your history, because it's going to help you make a better holistic decision, is what I say.
And you know what? Because now that y'all said it, we're veering off my little sheet now, because this is what we're doing, random thoughts.
It is random.
And what we don't give enough credit to, if I'm sticking with what Joe and Mo said, and this is something that's been said more than once, we don't give enough credit or recognition to the crack era. As we talk about all these new kids, they weren't raised by their parents. We were raised by our parents. When the crack hit, we don't realize it's like in the wild. When they talk about the elephants and how the hunters are killing all the bull elephants, these young elephants don't know what to do, so they just run amok. That's what's happening now. Most of these kids now, most of these adults now were raised by kids. They weren't raised by their parents because their parents were their parents, and the ones before them came up in the crack era. So most of the stuff they got was self-taught. They had to teach themselves this, that. So they don't have any. Their history is being with drug addict parents. Their history is being with parents who would sell them to a man for sex. Their history was a lot of things that most of us really don't. You know, we listen to Joe's story and we laugh. We listen to my story and we laugh. We listen to some of the stuff that us poor kids went through. But what you won't ever hear is us poor kids in our era, we never suffered from lack of love. We never suffered from lack of accountability because we did something wrong. We got our asses beat. So we had all these things, but we had parents who were there to teach us lessons. These other kids, these new kids, who taught them lessons? I guarantee you, the three of us on here, what did we hear about grown people? That we would respect all of them, right? It wasn't a special group that you respected. You respected each and every fucking grown person. If Ms. Mary said something to you, you had two responses. You could say yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am. But I'm gonna tell my mama was never a response, because that right there will get you straight to an ass whooping. Straight.
At least three.
But what do these new kids talk? What do you hear these parents saying? Don't nobody talk to my child like that.
Right.
Do any of y'all ever remember hearing anything like that from your parents? Ever?
Nope.
Ever? You can't talk to my kid like that. And it's like, but we gloss over what the crack era did to us. We'll talk about desegregation. We'll talk about, them closing the projects down. But what hurt us more than anything was that crack era. That crack era had a serious effect on how blacks especially, and we'll include people of color too, but how blacks especially started growing up, because who taught them how to do things? Everybody was equal in that era because the parents were mentally stunted or absent. So who taught, you hear about all these kids where the oldest raised the family. The oldest was the mother. Whoever the oldest, or the father, whoever the oldest was, they had to take care of everything because mom and dad were crackheads and stuff. And we don't give that it's, and credit is the wrong word, but we don't recognize how it damaged us wholly. And it damaged us generationally. Because like I say, everybody we're dealing with now, I will guarantee most of the people that Joe locked up in his career, I locked up in my career, their parents came from that crack era. So they had no form of discipline or knowing right from wrong. They were basically in survival mode all the time. Thoughts?
Yeah.
I
think
just got
that
one.
we go for it.
Oh, okay. I'll just say this real quick, but this could devolve into a long discussion. I don't want to do that. I just got to make this comment though. But from basically what DVP was saying, just want everybody to remember, the parents that had to deal with that crack and all those issues, that was a psyop, folks. Look it up if you don't believe me. You don't have to believe me. It was a psyop, and so it was done deliberately, and the kids suffered because of it.
I posted some years ago about some of the atrocities that the government had done to us. And I had people tell me, oh, I don't believe that. And I had to post where I got the information.
Yeah.
For instance, there was a program where they sprayed the projects in St. Louis with a cancer, a form of cancer, sprayed the whole project. Wow. And that's just, I'll send you the article. And that's in addition to the Tuskegee Airmen. That's just some of the stuff. But let me step away just for a second. I just got to step away and let my wife in. I'll be right back.
Sure thing. And I just on what Joe Mo was talking about with the Tuskegee Airmen. So there's proof that actually happened. You could imagine all the other psyops that occurred. That wasn't even a psyop, but that was a deliberate infectation of humans.
But I mean, and it didn't stop. And Theodore, we're gonna come back to you, sir, because when Joe get back, we're gonna answer your questions. But even when you look at what Robert Kennedy was saying about the COVID vaccine, they wanted to give blacks a different vaccine.
Yep.
Because our immune system is better than white people. So he wanted to give us a lesser vaccine because this is still going on with lots of America. It's the stupidest shit I ever heard, but it ain't that old school. It's not that old school. There's still lots of people out there, and we have to be more attentive, which is why, and we're gonna actually do a show. We're gonna do a show to talk about the importance of voting, because I still don't think we get it, no matter how much the evidence says. They keep trying to take our vote from us. So it's clearly got to be important. It's got to be important. If it wasn't, why do they keep trying to take it from us? Why is it they won't pass a law that we have the right to vote? It's still an act right now. They can. I'm not sure when it's got to be re-voted on, but technically we don't have a right to vote. It's an act, and nobody's ever changed that. The only people who have a right to vote each and every time are white people. That's it. not Native Americans, none of us. Just that. Joe, glad to have you back, sir.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Mr. Brock asked a question, and I know because you're the man. How do we get separated as a race of people?
Oh, that's multi-layered. We got separated when we started trying to emulate them. I'll explain that a little more. The whole infliction of the narcotics into our community more than anybody else's, that's also something we have to look at. Death by destruction. It's intentional. We look at between the heroin, the crack, the opioids. Nobody else has that problem but us. Why is that? The other thing is we got separated when we stopped telling the stories of us. See, now you can look at the TV on some channel. There's always going to be something about the Holocaust somewhere. It's not the same thing with slavery. Now, don't get me wrong. The whole idea that the Holocaust was wrong, it was 10 years. Slavery started in 1619. And with the inception of its younger brothers of gentrification, Jim Crow, Black codes, it's continued to last up and until 64, 65. Now, here's what's interesting. Again, I had to point out to a young brother that told me last week, I don't vote, I don't believe in voting. I had to remind him that I'm 68, and in my lifetime, you all just got the right to vote. White men have had the right to vote since 1619. When they first landed here, in order to be a voter, you had to be a landowner. So even they took out a certain segment. And only as time went on did they start including what's called the lower class or the gentry, for lack of a better term. Only in the late 1890s, early 1900s, did they allow white women to vote. Frederick Douglass made the comment that because he was asked about women suffragette and even the fact that you had everybody from Bessie Coleman and some of the other black female leaders saying, what about us? We're going to march with these white women. And he told them, I'm not going to get between a white man and this woman. That's their fight. So even then, white women got the vote before black folks got the right to vote. And as you alluded to, it's only an act. And if you watch this numbskull, it's quite possible that he might try to remove that. It's quite possible.
Highly probable.
I think it's going to take an attack. I think it's
highly probable.
Yeah, highly probable. A lot of people want to say that, oh, no, he can't. Well, so far, he has violated most of the covenants of the Constitution. Separation of church and state, separation of a whole lot of things. But see, the other part of that is this. Complicity is indeed a crime too. And when you have the Speaker and the Supreme Court, for lack of a better term, being go along, get along, and co-signing, well, now you have a problem. So, but again, that could be, that's a whole show.
And I just wanted to hit on that right quick because we're going to do something. And as I was looking and I saw something that was crazy, and I knew it. I was just hoping I was wrong. The last slave was freed in 1963. So it ain't like it's been the timeline we keep hearing. This is document 1963 is when the last slave was freed. 1963. And it's like, sometimes you just got to say some of this stuff out loud to really understand where we are. And we look over a lot of things. And Theodore, the crack epidemic, I don't think we all face it in the same way, like I say, because we lived through it. But I'm not sure how old you are, sir. But with us, we're old enough, and like I say, we had our parents in our life, or at least a parent that loved us. We didn't suffer from love. The kids that grew up in the crack era, at best they might have had grandma, but she was old. She couldn't keep up because our grandparents couldn't keep up with us. But we had a respect that these new kids don't have. We had parents who were not our equals. To this day, I'm willing to bet that if our parents, everybody whose parents are still alive, will still call us child, will still act like they running shit, because that's what they do. And guess what? When they say shit, we respect that. And we're not going to give them kickback. I look at some of these kids now, like I say, the parents treat them like equals. I'm willing to bet none of us ever felt like we were equal to our parents. None of us. Not a chance. But that whole era, who did they have to look up to? Everything that they learned was either from the TV, which is how they got a negative impression of us, because let's say in the crack era came in the early 90s, mid 90s?
Yeah. Yep.
What were our positive shows? Do we have any shows that made us look good? Because it damn sure wasn't. I'm talking about
the Cosby.
But the Cosby came out in the late. It wasn't the early 90s, or was it? I don't think it was then. I think so.
Well, so DVP though, you ventured into another space because we had our struggles trying to get on commercial TV too, and that was
right. But I'm just saying the kids had no positive role models to look at. At least we had our parents or grandparents. The kids didn't have their parents. The grandparents was probably unavailable or whatever because of everything that was going on. So who did they have to look up to? What molded their thinking? TV, and all they had was bullshit TV.
So let me say this to solidify your point. The heroes, when I was growing up, I'm younger than both of y'all. So when I was growing up, the only black heroes I had on TV, one of them that I can remember, Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek. Joe Mo know all about this. Only black lady on Star Trek. That's it. She was one. I was like, somebody black on TV.
Yep.
That's amazing, right? On commercial TV. Outside of her, none really come to mind right offhand.
Right. And just weren't.
You had there weren't. No, they will put black women on before black men because you had Diane Carroll as first, as a single mother though.
Right.
But that was that in Mo's era though?
That was before me.
That was before. Joe, that was me in your era. You going back way too far. Because Joe, when we had Room 222, we had Mod Squad.
Oh yeah. Well, I remember Link. I remember Link now. Link was the man. Okay, so I watched Link. I watched Link.
But the era after you, Mo, what did they have?
That's it. I just told you. That's it, man.
Hell, we even had Hondo on SWAT. And that may be coming up a little bit, but everything that we saw about black kids from that crack era was detrimental to black people. We were all pimps, prostitutes, hoes, or something else. What? George Jefferson, who to me, he was the biggest racist on TV. He was a bigger racist, George Jefferson, to me than Archie Bunker. But that's to me.
So DVP, y'all know this one, but this was one of my heroes, man, because they didn't have a lot of black representation. Huggy Bear from Beretta.
No, that was Starsky and Hutch. What? Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch.
And Theodore's, let's see, for me watching and seeing it, no matter how much love I had in the house, to see my sisters and brothers dying in the streets was a sad moment to be black. I raised 3 boys and one wasn't mine. I was a role model. They told me all. And see, when you raised these 3 boys, did you raise them as the father, or were you just the oldest child? Because a lot that's a lot what happened. And like I said, that's not, we'll do that next. I didn't want to end the show on a bad note. I mean, end the year. Family Matters. I don't even remember Family Matters. So what? I guess we got to go to Different Strokes and Gary Arnold, or
Yeah, Family Matters came after all of that, man.
so who what's going on, TC? Who was on Family Matters that was a black role model?
I think that might have been Urkel.
Okay.
No, the father
And
was
was he a role?
policeman.
Oh yeah, his son was Urkel. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, it was just
again,
it was just crazy.
Yeah, but they showed him
Go
a
ahead.
fat policeman eating donuts.
Right.
Come on.
Hey, he was a fat policeman eating donuts in Bruce Willis movie.
Oh, Die Hard. Yep.
Die Hard. Yeah.
Because you know, we just didn't have serious roles. Especially like I said, especially, and we specifically talking about that crack era when we needed us more than anything else. We let each other down. The government let us down. It was just because no disrespect or no nothing. Our parents got us out of that neighborhood. So who was there to lead that next generation? And like I say, when I'm looking at it and I start just paying attention to it, I think that was more our downfall. Like I said, everybody keep wanting to talk about welfare and shit. Us moving out the ghetto was not our downfall. That crack era was our downfall.
Mhm.
Okay. What you got?
No, I will say this. In addition to that downfall, it's when they destroyed, we let them destroy the nuclear family, and how they did that was by us not telling our stories to our kids about what their grandparents, great grandparents, so on and so forth did. See, here's the thing with all other races, they continue to tell their stories of their legacy. You can hear people talking about, yeah, my great grandpa or my grandfather survived the Holocaust or whatever else. But you don't hear about the Black Tankers or the Tuskegee Airmen or the 761st Armored Division or the Red Ball Express, because they've all wiped that out. And if we continue to let this guy do what he's doing, he's going to do it again. Because those who forget history, if you forget it, you're doomed to you're out. And that's what he's doing. He's closing the door on, and it's not even a narrative. It's the truth. They're now telling the kids in Texas that slavery was an incident. What do you mean it's an incident?
Yeah, Mark, it's got to be you because it came back when you came back.
He might have his phone on and his computer.
There's a little etch a sketch.
Yeah, and as you look at this president, he's rewriting this. He's telling the Smithsonian what to do. He's making everything political. And it's crazy. I was listening to one of the conversations that him and his people have about we don't want to make
president
again to the sensitivity issue. We don't want the little white kids to feel bad because their parents weren't shit or their great grandparents weren't shit. We don't want them to feel bad. It's not fair to tell them this or to tell you got to be shitting me. So we should keep the truth away from them. So what again? But again, as Joe said, and we're gonna do a whole segment on it next year. The importance of voting, because we're getting these people in and we don't do shit about it. We come with selfish intent, not looking at a big picture. Because I still see people trying to say, "Oh, he's done this, he's done that." Oh, gas prices are down. The president has zero to do with gas prices. Zero.
Correct.
I'm so tired of that being a narrative. It's zero to do with it. Zero. Anytime if you look at yearly stats, the gas price always goes down before major holiday season because they want people to drive. It happens every year. The gas prices go down right before now because they want you to drive. That's not presidential. There's nothing about it. But as one of my friends said, he went to buy coffee and he just happened to have a receipt. Last year he paid for, and he's a coffee drinker, he paid $9. This should have cost for $20. But the same, well, actually a smaller size, but the same thing. Cheaper gas, cheaper food. And it's like when I see that question, what would you prefer, cheap gas or cheap food? Well, everybody doesn't drive. I don't know of anybody who doesn't eat. So unless you're driving cross country every day, it makes no sense to want cheaper gas over cheaper food. to me. And Theodore, what traditions then we keep? We didn't have a lot of traditions. We didn't bring much over with us from anywhere. So when we talk about traditions that we didn't keep, name a tradition that we should have kept.
Well, unless he's talking about starting in Africa. I don't think he's talking about that. He's talking about in America.
But even in Africa, what traditions did we? What traditions did we keep? Because we don't know them. Go ahead, Joe.
No. I'll give you one tradition. The telling of the tales. We have gotten away. We've forgotten to tell our kids what their grandparents, great grandparents did. I can tell you about mine.
Yeah,
my kids can tell you. So that's the tradition because everybody else does it, but us. Everybody.
Yeah,
I've got some books here with Trump, and Trump made the comment about his good German blood. And if you listen to him, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, he says, I got to give you this one. When that black Somalian gets on TV and says, "We voted for Mr. Trump. We knew he was an agent of chaos." Please look up agent of chaos because it says one that's concerned with enriching one's self. Quote. He called Somalia, in particular the Minnesota Somalians, coming from a country of shit. That's a quote. Then he stands at the podium and says, "Can we get any people from Denmark, Sweden,
Sweden?"
And they applauded. And then this black so-and-so stands up and tells, "I've been a Republican. I got no problem. Listen, if you vote Republican, I'm good, great. But now you got what you voted for." Now, let me just, again, I'm going off script, but I got to say this. The Democrats did it to themselves. They really did. Let's just get that out the way. Do I agree with some Republican policies? Yes. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Understand the word conservative. The original conservatives were your great grandparents coming out of slavery, and understand why they were conservatives, because you had to conserve what you had.
So let me absolutely, Joe. So let me just say this because y'all brought up history, and I want to say this. We all watch Henry Louis Gates on TV doing research to find, legacies and connections that people had from the past. So the thing I'm upset about is this. That kind of process should be free. All right. We should all be able to track our ancestry for free. They actually, God damn it, put this, they turned this into a damn business. So if you want to know who you connected to, who your background is, you got to pay. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, man. I'm going to get upset. That's ridiculous, man. That information should be free for everybody. And that way, because part of your history is knowing where you came from, right? I'd love to know where I came from. I had to pay to find out that I primarily, my blood is primarily from a certain place in Africa. I believe I'm from Benin or something like that. And it's so liberating. I'm like, wow, that's where I'm from. That's amazing. Even just finding out that information. So once again, information has been tainted with the fact that they're going to charge people for that particular information, which that we all are due that information. It's our right to have that information. You broke it. Give me my information. That's how I see it.
So, and I'm gonna just say this because I thought about this. One of the things that we should have been sharing, and it pains me to say this, is that the older people had a Bible that had a family tree in it. Those Bibles disappeared because you could trace your way back because that Bible was something that was passed down amongst a lot of families. Now there's no Bible. So, and I ain't casting blame on nobody, but you could see the mother's side and the father's side, and you could trace back a lot with this Bible because this Bible was gold. This Bible was gold. Go ahead, Joe. I saw the look. I saw the look.
But it's interesting because, again, coming from the South, not only did you know who, where, what, when, and why, but also had remedies that you will never find anywhere else, that they are now stealing from your parents, your great grandparents, that they didn't know.
Yeah, medical history.
Yeah,
you
I
talking
got
about,
out.
Joe?
No, like
Huh?
the home remedies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
home remedies. What to do for this, what to do for that. Because they couldn't afford to go shop for all this stuff. So they had a lot of, like I was watching somebody the other day and they was talking about putting the onions on somebody's foot. And I had to laugh about it because it's supposed to draw toxins out. But most of us
Right.
don't know that, because it didn't get passed down. It got lost in translation. And that's why I say, to me, a lot of that got lost with the crack era because where are the Bibles now? Who can go and find the latest Bible that's in the family that's up to date? And that's one of the things that if I would challenge people, find that Bible. And as much as I'm not a Christian or anything, start one. Start doing one and keeping track so you can pass it down to your kids or to the next kin, whoever. Because you shouldn't have had to pay to figure out who was who. There should have been a lot of little paperwork that was connecting everything somewhere, because they wrote this stuff down. They didn't do nothing else. They wrote this stuff down, even if all they put was Kenny, because that's all they knew. There was a time we could track these things. When you go back to to Alex, Haley, and Roots, all these things were written. And whether we lost some of them, whether they destroyed them, we still stopped doing it because we could have picked up wherever we wanted to, and we could have started our own, and we don't.
So
go ahead.
okay.
Sorry.
I didn't mean that. I was just gonna say no. So the stuff exists, and you're right.
Yep.
We did write it down because when I did my search, I saw a register that either my grandmother or my grandfather had filled out with all the kids in it, and one of the kids was my father. So there was some kind of mechanism in place to make you write down information. I'm guessing it was a census, and this was probably required during that time. I'm not exactly
before
sure
there was a census. Yeah, but before there was a census, our communities had those Bibles. Those Bibles predated the census. So you would have great grandparents. You'd have birth dates, places of birth, the home remedies, and those remedies, like I said, they're now stealing because and here's the thing. If we look at how long our great grandparents lived and what they ate, how did they live so long and work so well?
Facts.
What did they know?
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
And our lifetime is now what, 60, 62, 63 expectancy? If that. If that. I mean, between the three of us, without not trying to be funny, not including Mark, we're beating the expectations.
Man, I should have been here a long time ago.
but wait, and here's what's even funnier. For myself and DVP, we're the benchmark. We're actually setting the benchmark.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because we're not supposed to be here.
It's a fact.
The actuarial number said that within 3 years of retirement, the average Black policeman will die. And I'll be damned if that wasn't the case. My uncle died almost 3 years to the date from retiring. Almost 3 years to the date.
Joe, that's not a coincidence. You know that. They've done all this. They know what it is.
Yeah. The algorithms are probably good. Let me add one more thing to the crack thing. There's a couple of things we got to look at. When we look at the crack epidemic, you also have to look at the other correlation of the high level of autism that is now in our communities. It's off the chain. Now, here's the interesting thing of autism. We used to call people retarded. Now they're saying it's autism or being on the spectrum. I will tell you that this thing can be a curse or it can be a blessing. Because if we look at this in certain spectrums, I've seen a lot of autistic kids. In fact, I've got a nephew that's a damn near genius. No social skills, but he's a reader. He's above he's above average. Now, again, look at the number of cases of how that spectrum has gone up in our community, and you'll see a correlation with the crack epidemic. Now, Richard Pryor said some years ago, and I know I'm gonna lose a couple of you guys, but here's the thing. Richard Pryor said, if you got the grandmother being called mama and the mama being called by her first name, you're gonna have a problem with that child. Anybody remember calling their mother by their first name? Bet not. My mother's been dead 30 years, and I still don't call her by her first name. So,
Thanks.
Why would it? Listen, that,
you know,
that just don't make no sense. I don't even know why anybody would want to do that. You know, it's just.
but again, because they're not raised the same way. That's why you got to understand.
Right.
There's a whole plan. When you take out the nuclear family, you take out all society. Because here's the thing: everything you learn where? At home. Your social skills, your mores, morals, all come from home. So if I take out your nuclear family, I can dictate where your society goes from there on.
Yeah, understood.
And it goes back to what I was saying. To me, during that crack era, parents were friends with their kids. We never had that issue. Our parents, I mean, not friends, they were peers, they were equals. Because, you know, even we go back to Joe's era, my great grandparents' era, where you got our great grandparents having babies at 14 and 15, they still weren't peers with their kids. They weren't equals. This new generation, like I say, you know, you say, oh, you can't talk to my child like that. I'm the only somebody who can talk to my child like that, because you got people who are trying to be equal. We never had that issue. So to Joe's point, when grandma becomes mom becomes sister to her own child. So they speak on a first name basis as equals, because the child is taught to respect this person, but this person is my equal. Well, your mom is your equal? Well, that's not my mom. Well, it is, but her name is Debbie. Well, what's mama name or grandmama? They don't know, because she's grandma, big mom, nana, whatever, but you ain't never finna mess around and call her by her name. No. I mean, we know it later on in life, but we ain't never called, man. What's your grandmama name? Grandma? She got a real name that people call her? Her name Grandma. Yeah, well, what do her friends call her? I heard somebody say Jackie, he answered. I don't know who they was talking to, but every time they say Jackie, he jump up. So it's like, you know, but that, like I said, that thing, and Theo, I don't know you, but yeah, I blame a lot of that on fathers. I do, you know, but as a black man, and I think most of us will agree on this, you know, just a little dissent, but we keep wanting to be the kings and leaders, but we keep denouncing that role, because you can't be a king and a leader. What time is it? We don't get deep into this, but if I have a child with a woman and I think she's not doing a good job, well, it's my job to go back and get my son, not go back to social media, wherever, and complain about she kicked me out, because she can't kick me out. I have a house. I don't know no man that ever got kicked out of his house for the government. See, we got kicked out because we were living with her in the projects. See, that was on black men. That's a responsibility that we don't want to accept. You know, when you go back to Claudine, my favorite movie that describes it all, what did James Earl Jones do? For the longest, he was staying down Carol in her apartment. And they got tired of the welfare man. What did James Earl Jones say? Pack y'all up and come with me. So guess what? Then the welfare man didn't have nothing else to say. So as men, all these grown-ass men who want to claim to do this, stop going to live with her in the projects. If you can't bring her out the projects, then leave her alone. But don't complain, oh, she kicked me out. No, the system kicked out because she can't have you over there not contributing to shit. But we don't want to accept that responsibility, and guys get mad. Oh, bro, you want submission, you want to be the king, you want to be the head of the household in her place. That shit can't happen like that. You got 3 strikes against you. What you contribute, oh, we want to go ahead. So she's staying in projects paying little or no rent. You can't even take care of her $60 a month rent. Well, to me, you ain't shit dude. But, you know, and all of us, each and every one of us can sit right here now and look everybody in the face and say, we ain't got no kids. And there's no way to prove that we ever had kids, because we see this from a lot of dudes. When a woman has a kid, pretty much everybody knows. There are lots of men who swear they ain't got no children. Karl Malone, found out about him. Jesse Jackson, all these people would love children. But I ain't got no kids. They denounce single dads at some point. They hid behind the Bible at some point. But they was ancient ass dudes. You know what you was doing. That's on us as men. And I hate when we keep blaming women for this, because we got a choice on whether or not we stay or go. We got a choice. And we were supposed to do a show on emotion. Go ahead, sir.
But in that part of the hypocrisy we talked about,
Yeah,
that
but
being
you
a
know,
hypocrite.
exactly. And you know, we're gonna one of the topics for the day was supposed to be on emotional intelligence. We're gonna save this for another day. But Theodore, until black men start holding black men accountable, which is part of the reason, you know, you'll see us talking a lot of shit to each other. But let one of us falter. Joe, let me fuck around and make a mistake. Joe gonna be on my ass. Joe gonna be on my ass. And that's what we do because we hold each other accountable. We don't have to agree on everything, but what we ain't gonna do is we're not gonna allow one of us to be a hypocrite on this show. Be like, hey, didn't you just say, so you can't have it both ways? You can't pull a Eddie Long, you talking about gay people, but you live in a gay life. No, sir, that's not what we're gonna do. If you gay, it's okay, celebrate that, but don't try to talk about them on the side and you live in a dual life. If we want to be the head of the household, we want to take back our community. Joe, Mark, Mo, tell me, what black man right now stands up for us? Mark, you know one?
Nah, we had
Mo?
Kevin Samuels, but he passed.
Mo, you know one?
Please,
Joe,
please.
And I don't want to
right
put
now
it out there, but do we have anybody that stands up for us and what's right? Like what's the lady Jasmine Crockett, a fucking firecracker. Sometimes she don't her presentation is a little much, but where's her male counterpart? You don't even see them pushing her to the top. Hakeem Jeffries, what is he doing? What being Trump, what is he doing? So when we're looking at people who will stand up for us when something is going wrong, why is it we doing what we've been doing for the past, I don't know, 100 or so years?
Man,
it's always a woman who's standing up. It's always a black woman who's standing up for us more than black men.
Now you know you done just lit a fire because that I've been on that for so long. You look at Cory Booker, you look at the rest of these so-called Negro leaders, and absolute zeros. So the you know, I love it when these cats talk about all the warrior spirit. Well, so far you a bunch of stepping fetches because the warriors are wearing dresses. Now, if you think I'm lying, here's what I dare any one of you to do. I want you to look around the country and look at the number of black women running for office. Then look at the number of black men.
And even when you look, just look at the black men. What are they standing for? You know, we in Georgia, we got Raphael Warnock. Where has he been? He's a preacher, man of God. So where is he? And it's like, damn, Marjorie Greene, who is not one of my favorite people, even though she's trying to cross over, she got more balls than most of these black dudes. She will stand up and call people out. These people not calling nobody out. We got women who are consistently doing it. I mean, it sucks. We got to go back to way back to MLK. We got to go back to Malcolm X. We got to go back to Marcus Garvey. We got to go way back to find a true black man that was a true leader and spoke out when it wasn't popular. As big as a fan as I am against Joe's wishes of Obama couldn't stand out. And I blame that on us and other factors, but he couldn't stand up and call wrong. But these other guys, they didn't care. They did it. So now we got Jasmine Crockett doing it. And you don't see, and you know, I'm okay with a woman doing it, but why aren't these men standing up behind it and pushing them forward? Because Joe, I'm gonna take Mark out because Mark don't know if he's in a serious relationship or not. I don't want him to get beat up. But did we not have a woman behind us pushing us sometimes when we didn't want to be pushed? And it was working our nerves. I see Joe muted himself, so I don't want to get in trouble. But did we not have a woman who helped
I'm
us?
here because
But did we not have a woman who pushed us?
I said some real
Hey, congratulations! How long you been married, Joe? Theodore might have you beat. Theodore been married for 27 years.
32.
How long you been married, Joe?
32.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Theodore. You tried. It was a good shot. Mark. Joe got you beat by 5 whole years. So what you got for me, Joe? What time? 7:42. We got time for one more controversy.
Oh well, let me go back to what you just see. You should have never said nothing about the O word. First, you should never have brought that dude up. But let me just say this: when he had the opportunity, he had 4 shots, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 shots at the Supreme Court. All he could find was 2 Hispanics, one of whom's gay. You couldn't find a black gay nothing in this country. You couldn't find a straight black nothing in this country.
They went up and commented.
But you want to tell me what he couldn't do? You want to tell me what he couldn't do? Hold on. Didn't this guy that's sitting in that chair now, has he not only disrupted entirely what the whole process is because he could do it? Not just because he could do it, he did it. See, there's a difference between having testosterone and estrogen. Now, if you want to say that this guy did something for us, I'll ask you this. In his 8 years, and I understand his little, as I say in the TV, his speechifying, I get that. And he's the president of all people, not just black people. In that process, can you tell me, please, exactly what he did that benefited any people on this panel or anybody you know? The Affordable Health Care Act helped white folks, poor white folks who voted against him. Please, I'd love to hear the argument. And now they're about to immortalize him into this travesty. If you look at this new building they built for him. In fact, when you come back, we're gonna go over there, Mark. But
I went over there.
Take a look.
But we'll
Hold on, how Mark get an invite and I ain't got an invite? What kind of thing is that?
Because you don't know how to go to Chicago. You scared.
No. Mark came here because he was on the lam. See, you're not on the lam yet, so he was doing some, he is scoping out where he got to run to. So I get that. But again, in this scheme of things, when we look at what's happening in this country, the highest court in the land, he had 4 shots at, and he couldn't find nobody of this ilk nowhere. In the history of this country, it took white men to put black people on the Supreme Court. When you had a black guy, they could have had at least 2. What is wrong with us? Now, to your point,
I already said, Joe, there's some things I do knocking for. I'm knocking for some stuff.
Look, Marjorie Taylor Greene, as crazy as that sucker is, she said something. Now, I heard some people talk about this person in the White House, and I give them the credit. And they said this: at least he says it and he does it. Now, whether it's legal or not, well, God only knows, but he does it. So for an educated black man, did he lose the testosterone? Because now you're all big and tough now that you're at the White House. You're a billionaire now. So what platform is he working off now that's going to help us? Please, enlighten me.
But you see, I didn't name him as a spokesperson because I'm not putting him there. All I said was what I said. I'm still Jasmine Crockett right now. If I had to pick a hero, it would be Jasmine Crockett because she's the only somebody who's standing up to it. AOC don't talk like she used to because I thought she was going to keep going, but something silenced her a little bit. Jasmine had 3 bowls of don't give a fuck.
Jasmine not only, but she got more testosterone than those so-called black men.
And you know what? If we're being honest, it ain't that. I'm starting to believe that estrogen is stronger than testosterone because these women with this high estrogen, but they fucking fireballs. So I'm starting to believe that testosterone is a little over. Maybe it makes you stronger physically, but when you want to be strong internally, we might need some shots of estrogen because these women, even the woman from Jamaica who ain't a full son, she'll speak out. And it's like it's so many of them. But they said when we get to Cory Booker, Hakeem Jeffries, and all them, Warnock, ain't nobody saying nothing. I just don't see any dude standing up to none of them. And I keep trying to look. I keep waiting for somebody to come up. Oh my God. If Van Jones cry one more time, I'm gonna start watching TV. It's like, so no matter what realm you look in, who is the black man that gives us something to aspire to be? Anybody can answer that.
I would go you one better. What black man that not only inspires us, but can reach everybody? Because the fight, just like the gospel song, Troy ain't just yours, it's ours. And the problem I have is that in a Warnock, in a Booker, as Theodore says, we're scary, we fight each other before we fight them. That's true. You see them bogging themselves down in minutia, polite way of saying bullshit. And until we get off of our high horse and understand that, division, they divide and conquer, and that's what they do. That's number one in the playbook. And we've been letting them continue to do that since they so-called freed us. See, if you go read King's books, particularly the letter from Birmingham jail, he said this about liberals. He said, I fear I led my people into a burning house. Liberalism. Because the original conservatives were black folks. Just like people talk about all the Democrats are fond about Nathan Bedford Forrest, the father of, Civil War general. It's true. But this ain't the party of Lincoln either. But understand something about Lincoln. Lincoln didn't free the slaves because he wanted to. It was out of necessity. So the real point I'm trying to make is that we have forgotten history. We're forgetting to tell our kids our history. We're not taking them to those places where they understand what our history means. And those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. That's why you see something about the Holocaust, because the Jews ain't gonna let you eliminate them nowhere ever again. They'll burn this motherfucker up. Pardon my language. They'll destroy the earth before they let you mess with Israel. Guarantee you. You'll see World War IV, 5, 6, well, World War III, and it's over with. Because they ain't playing.
What you got, Mark? I ain't used to you being so quiet.
Man, I'm sitting up here learning today, man. Take a seat back and listen and learning, especially when y'all get to talk about politics. Some of it I agree with, I don't think Obama did much for us. And we do not have a true black leader. They only showing up when there's a check involved. So it is what it is.
And, it's a sad state of affairs, and it's why we got to do better individually and collectively at the grassroots level. Because looking for somebody who gonna, we got to support this guy, we got to support that guy. And again, when I look at the Spike Lees, when I look at all these, even the dude that did the Wakanda stuff, where are the positive black movies about our history? You can do all this other stuff, and I had a beef with Spike Lee about the Martin Luther King movie, because why did you need to put that in there that Martin Luther King was cheating? Well, what purpose did that serve to put that in the movie? Is that what they told you had to put in the movie so they would sponsor it? But where are our positive movies? Where are our biopics about these things? As we sit back and we talk about these commercial holidays and we talk about this, where's the fight to get Columbus they fucking permanently removed? I don't even understand why that's a question. Everybody knows that Columbus didn't find America. He didn't. Mm-hmm. Technically, America was never lost, because if you study history like I had to do, then America was found by Amerigo Vespucci, who was before Columbus, but that's a whole nother show. So how do we get into all this craziness with Columbus being anybody other than a rapist, a slave trader, and a bunch of other horrible shit. But his day is still there, and we'll still take it off, and we'll get drunk, and we'll talk about how unfair it is. But even at our level, when do we start standing up? But we keep waiting for somebody else to do it. And, most say, we got a good form, yeah. But when do the others? Because me and Joe over 60, we tired. We don't have to fight no more. Mark, it's up to you and the ones you do, because unfortunately, and I say this not with pride, but with actual. As we get older, we got kids, we just don't have the same fight no more, and we tired of repeating it. We trying to tell people stuff because people like, oh, you always talking bad about this person. I ain't talking bad. I'm just telling you fact, because if you can't refute it, then what am I saying bad? When I talk about being Chunk, when I talk about Jesse, when I talk about what's the slick hair dude name that had the stomach surgery on MSNBC, the Reverend Sharp.
Sharp.
They ain't been good for us. They scream loud. They got a camera. They say things. Everything they do has been for money. Every fucking thing they do is for money. They ain't done nothing out of the goodness of their heart. Not ever. Not ever. Ever. I got into a conversation. I was like, why you don't like Andy Young? I grew up with Andy Young. His name is Andrew. He changed it to Andy. They asked him why. He said, because that's what the white people keep calling me. I lost all respect for him when he said that. So you just let them call you Andy because you changed your legal name to Andy because white people call you that? And we're supposed to respect you? Joe just said, all of us say, white people call us boy. Which one of us going to change our legal name to boy because that's what white people keep calling us?
Ain't gonna happen.
And Lord knows they love to say boy. I'm not going to change.
At least Kunta Kinte took a life-threatening beating before he, changed his name, before he succumbed.
But, so you want me to have respect for somebody who didn't do nothing other than ride somebody else's coattail? Because I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get off my little soapbox. If you ever watch Andrew Young speak, when everybody start going to sleep, mark my words, he going to say this, and I told Martin, and it's going to get everybody back up listening. Because it happened every time. Every time, because nobody's listening to him. And I told Martin. Here we go with this shit again. You ain't told Martin shit. You weren't one of his advisors. You wasn't. It's like, where are all these kings who are self-proclaimed kings and self-proclaimed alphas and self-proclaimed warriors? What are y'all fighting? Oh, y'all fighting women. Oh, what the fuck was I thinking? That makes you a king and an alpha because you're slapping the shit out of women. Mm-hmm. But as Theodore said, you ain't gonna fight the white dude because you know you can't win. You're not gonna fight the system because you know you can't win. And me and Joe been in the system. Joe been a police chief. We can tell you the system can be beat if you fight it right. It just takes time, it takes knowledge, and it takes energy. Because Joe should not have been police chief under the system. But sometimes you don't get it twisted. Every now and then you gotta calm down to get in. I ain't a fan of Jay-Z music, but if he can find a way to get us in the NFL and get this stuff going, then why would I be mad at him? Oh, he did this. I don't care what he did. He got a group of white men to let him turn the biggest event into a black party. That's a major effing accomplishment. That's a major accomplishment, whether you like the man or not. What about so-and-so? Come on, what we got? So 7:56. Everybody give me something. Give me a part and stop before we go. Dude, I hope you can make it next week. Well, maybe not next week. I don't know what we're gonna do. What you got, Mark?
Hey, look, man. Let's get ready for the holidays, man. Be safe, enjoy it. Don't get stressed and depressed. Stay up.
Mo, what you got?
Just don't get manipulated into going broke. Do what you can do, and be satisfied with what you can do. And if the people in your circle are your real people, they'll be happy with whatever you've done.
The infamous Joe Mo.
Well, I just want to leave this. Dr. King's top advisors, some of Dr. King's top advisors were a guy named Bayard Rustin, Langston Hughes, and the poet laureate that eventually moved to Europe because of racism. They were all gay. So don't get hung up in that bullshit. Because guess what? There are people in their circles that are gay, but they don't take the beatings or the lashings that we give to ours.
And I had something, but Joe made me change it. Y'all need to know who Bayard Rustin was. He didn't get the position from us simply because he was gay. Had he gotten what he deserved, will we know who Martin Luther King was?
Nope.
Y'all need to know who he was. And this is one of those things where I think we don't read enough. And it's like I said, it's not to diminish anybody, because hey, Martin Luther King was who he was. Rosa Parks was who she was. But they were not the originators. They were not the ones they were chosen, but they were not the inventors or the creators. And once we understand that, we understand Claudette. What was her last name? I know you know, Joe. What was Claudette's last name? Johnson, I think.
Colvin.
Oh yeah. Once we know these things,
Colvin, yeah.
See, knowledge is power. Can't nobody take what you know from you. Once you know about Bayard, then you know. So when people start saying something, you can have an intelligent argument. Once you read about Malcolm X, you'll know, you'll understand who Detroit Red was. You'll understand how him and Martin switched positions. Because I hate when people say, "Oh, you got to fight like Malcolm." Well, Malcolm turned out not to be such a fighter. And again, I challenge all y'all to tell me who he fought. He never fought anybody. He understood a show of force. He showed up with a bunch of people. Today we call him a punk because he never came by himself. He always came with a bunch of people, which to me made him a great leader. But Joe, did he ever do anything by himself?
Nope.
You are a researcher extraordinaire. Didn't he always come with a gang?
Eventually, yes.
That was his strength. He could get 100 black men in suits to strike fear in the hearts of the white man. But he ain't laid his hands on nobody. He just spoke eloquently. He spoke the Queen's English, and that scared them. But he ain't fought nobody. But we let them pick our leaders. We let us discriminate against us. One of the questions you had asked earlier, Theodore, because like I said, Martin was not the first choice. Rosa Parks was not the first woman. She's just a description that we created for our narrative. We discriminate more against us to appease them. And something we got to think about. February coming, we're going to do some great shit for Black History Month. Thank you, Mr. Reed. Reed is my dude. We got sued together. So, we thick as thieves now. So y'all know what this is. This is Random Thoughts with DVP. We're going to see if we can get Joe to come on some more since, we got a pass and everybody. Mark, you got to stay in Atlanta because his wife won't let him run on show when you on the run because she think you going to come up there and then she can't let him have company. So, Mark, you got to stay in Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Mark got the tour, though.
So, gentlemen, before I reach out to y'all, do we want to do a show the next couple of weeks? Like I said, it's Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Do we want to do a show or do we want to just wait until the new year? Think about it and let me know what you want to do in the inbox. I just need y'all to think about it because I'm going to probably do something. It'll probably be a quick show, but just let me know if y'all want to do something.
Okay.
If we don't see something, we'll forget in a heartbeat. All right, so y'all know it is.
Hey,
until
man,
next week or whenever. Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. And we out. I'll hit you up, Joe.
All right, later.
Where's the outro?
Where's the outro?